The Baltimore Ravens season, it came to a tragic ending, and I would suggest it was a waste of time. Think about this. Go back 4 years. We saw the same picture. 4 years ago, 2019 season, the Baltimore Ravens, they were the 1 seed in the AFC. Now, stay with me. I'm taking you somewhere. Then not only were they the 1 seed in the AFC, but that year, 4 years ago, Lamar Jackson, he won an MVP. And then how did that season end? Well, it ended with the Chiefs and the Niners in the Super Bowl. Now cut to 2023. 4 years later, the Baltimore Ravens once again. They're the 1 seed. You see the 2023 season. What's happening this year? Lamar Jackson. What's he going to do? I think hoist another MVP trophy. And guess who is in the Super Bowl? Not the Ravens, the Chiefs, and the Niners. So although the Ravens did a whole lot of running, jumping, and hitting this season, I got to be honest with you. I wish I could lie. I wish I could. But the Ravens season fell short. I suggest it was a waste of time heading to the desk. LeSean McCoy, Joy Taylor, James Jones. Oh, man. Let there be light, they say.
Congratulations, Emmanuel, by the way. Making the Pro Bowl. Shady.
Yeah.
I
need one. That's what I've been chasing. I need one.
Everybody making the Pro Bowl.
Than that, though. You know why I'm disappointed? Because now they might start, looking down on the Pro Bowls. And people like me that really had to go out there and get them Pro Bowls.
For context, I don't want to keep you out here. Gardner Minshew, it was announced that he made the Pro Bowl. Baker Mayfield announced that he made the Pro Bowl because several starters are sitting out. Guys like Lamar Jackson, guys like Patrick Mahomes, amongst others.
Oh, they just said that Mike Thomas is going to be in the Pro Bowl as a tight end. Yep. Everybody getting Pro Bowl. What are we doing?
We will get to that later in the show. But for now, Shady, let's talk about the Super Bowl. Let's talk about that bowl game, if you will.
A big one.
Lamar Jackson, the Ravens, they're not going to be playing in it. I suggest it was a waste of a season. To bring it back to the game, I think they fell short. Not only did they fall short objectively, I think what is the point in playing if you are Lamar Jackson if you're not getting to a Super Bowl? What's the point in having a 1 seed if you're not going to capitalize on that 1 seed and finish the season as the number 1 team in your conference? What is the point in all of it if it's not going to, if nothing is going to come of it? So where I'm standing, Shady, it was a waste of a season. But Big Dog, what you say? You won 2 Super Bowls. You know what it means.
You know, I gotta disagree with you.
Okay.
I mean, first of all, your quarterback won MVP.
True.
Right? He got paid. Most times when players get paid, I'm guilty of it as well. When you get paid that year, you don't do well. I'm just going to go and say it. The next year, that's when you ball out. But not for the Ravens. Their quarterback took this team to the AFC Championship game. We can't out of the AFC Championship game as nothing. That's a big deal. That's a big accomplishment. And then if they didn't win this game, I'll be upset. They didn't win the game. But why I can't be too upset is you lost to Patrick Mahomes. Lost to Andy Reid. This is the best duo since Brady and Lil Bill. This is since then. So now it's like if he lost to Josh Allen, if he lost to Joe Burrow, I got a problem with that.
Sure.
Because y'all on the same level. All y'all on the same level. But Patrick Mahomes on another level. And you look at the Chiefs team, they look way different back then to right now.
Sure.
Playoff came, clock's ticking.
But Shady, in what world, please break this down for me, Mr. Future Hall of Fame.
I got one for you.
I believe you are. In what world is losing okay?
It's never okay.
You lost a pass.
Never okay.
I don't care. If you're on the field with Adrian Peterson, I still expect you to have more rushing yards. If you're on the field with Marshawn Lynch, I still expect you to have more rushing yards. If you're on the field with Arian Foster in his prime, Matt Forte in his prime, if you're on the field with them dudes, I still expect you to have more rushing yards.
You should have stayed with the AP. I got the other guys.
No doubt about it.
This is what I'm saying, though. AP is not no Tom Brady. AP is not no Patrick Mahomes. He's great, but he ain't that. So it's like, for example, one of my favorite players, obviously, is Michael Jordan. But I used to love Charles Barkley. That was just my guy. And at the time, he won MVP. I want to say in 93.
Yeah, I believe it was 93.
Right? They played the Suns.
Yeah. 92 or 93 season.
He lost to Michael Jordan.
Yep.
And the first thing he said was, yo, I finally found a guy that I'm just not better than. Yeah. And that's what we're living in today, from the Bradys to now to Patrick Mahomes. So I get what you're saying as a competitor. I want to beat him. I'm going to be better than him. Yeah, but there's one thing to it, man. It's called reality. And my thing is Pat and Andy Reid together on another dimension, on another planet. So I'm not okay with it, but I could justify it, losing to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs compared to anybody else in the AFC.
So from this point forward, let me get clarity, at least at the desk, at least for you, Shady.
Let me get to
From this point forward, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, even if they lose to Patrick Mahomes, it's still a successful season because it's Patrick Mahomes.
Because same thing with the New England Patriots. when Tom was running things, here and there, you're going to have somebody win a little championship, win a little playoff game. But for a while, it was all Brady. Yeah. Every year, you're thinking, yo, the Patriots are going to be in the AFC Championship game. That's the same thing with the Chiefs. This is 6 in a row. This ain't a coincidence. And then next year, the sad part is they might be even better next year. And if I said, yo, they're going to go to the AFC Championship game next year, what would you say?
Of course.
So what are we talking about? Lamar be back? In the meantime, though, James, Cancun on 3.
It's nice and warm out here. It's warmer than Baltimore.
Oh, but for sure.
But, this was not a successful season for the Baltimore Ravens. And the main reason why I say that, individually, sure, you got a star wide receiver in Zay Flowers. It's his rookie year.
He's young.
He's going to get better. He's young. Your quarterback, new system, played really well, going to win a second MVP. Individually, defense, Roquan Smith, Patrick Queen,
Kyle Hamilton.
My goodness, all pros, all three of them. Right? So, a lot of good things individually. Every season we come in to the football season, it's 5 or 6 teams to where we say, is Super Bowl or bust.
Talk to me.
Niners, Bills, Eagles was up there because they just came off of
a Super Bowl. Up there.
We came off of a Super Bowl, right? The Jets were up there because Aaron Rodgers and that defense. And the Ravens were up there. So anything less than a Super Bowl in Baltimore with how good this football team was, that is an unsuccessful football season. I don't care if it's Patrick Mahomes. You have Patrick Mahomes at the bank in your backyard with a chance to go to the Super Bowl, and you were the best team all year in football. And Patrick Mahomes' team at one point might have been the worst team in football the way they were playing. So this is an unsuccessful season, in my humble opinion, for Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens because they fell short of the Super Bowl, and that was the main goal. Some people had them as their Super Bowl pick to win this thing. And to not get there, I don't care what you accomplish individually, as a team, to fall short of the Super Bowl was an unsuccessful season for the Baltimore Ravens. You could not tell me that they didn't think they was going to the Super Bowl. They probably already had, hey, y'all, when we was in the NFC Championship, we was playing the Giants. A bunch of my people was like, man, we want to come. Don't come to this one. We going to the Super Bowl next week.
Who's quarterback?
We went home.
Eli Manning's over there?
Yep.
He ain't Pat. You wouldn't never.
Pat, he still beat us,
you wouldn't dare.
Tom is your greatest, and he beat Tom twice.
You wouldn't. But you wouldn't fix your mouth to say that about Patrick Mahomes.
I will fix my mouth. Yeah. He beat Tom Brady twice.
Hey, Jordan, that's how my dad, when I was getting Tracy, like,
yeah.
Was it a success, Joy, Raven season?
In a zero-sum game, no. If your only goal this season was to win a Super Bowl, then no, you failed at that. But only one team is going to win a Super Bowl, so that means only one team is going to have a successful season. Mm-hmm. That seems very limiting. Yes, everyone who is in that position should be striving to achieve the ultimate goal. But I do think building blocks matter as well. The process matters as well. There has to be some level of positivity that's allowed between ultimate failure, right, and the ultimate success. Somewhere in the middle there is where the Ravens season lies for me, because Lamar Jackson's never been to an AFC Championship game. So if you're ticking things off the list, as we do with these careers and these legacies, those things have to be recognized. He's going to win a second MVP, which is an instance into the Hall of Fame. There's just he's going to get in the Hall of Fame now because he has won 2 league MVPs in his very short career. He made it to an AFC Championship game with the #1 overall seed in the AFC, which is where that team is supposed to be. And he's never gone this far in his career. Running up against Pat, I think, is a fair, reasonable reality check for everyone. Yes. But even if you want to take that off the table, it doesn't matter who he lost to. They'd never been in this position before. So you have to recognize your accomplishments in that space as well. It was disappointing because of how their season went and the fact that he's going to win MVP and all these things, yes. But disappointment and ultimate failure feel different to me. So I can't say that this season was a complete failure and there's no successes to take out of it. Now we have a different level of expectation from Lamar Jackson. We had questions about what he was able to even do in the postseason going into this run. So that being the case, how can we then say, okay, you didn't make it to the Super Bowl, so all of that was a complete failure? It was disappointing, yes. They didn't reach their ultimate goal. But he did check something else off the list, which was getting to an AFC Championship game. Now, if he goes back to the AFC Championship game again next year and doesn't make it to a Super Bowl, then I think that's a failure because you already did this. You already accomplished that.
I like that you personalized it. Because I think this is a different question for everybody. The reason I think it's a failure is because I do think pro sports and really anything that has a trophy at the end of it is pass-fail. That's just the way I grew up in sports. It's like, if you end up losing, you did not succeed. Now, I think James Jones, I love what you said at the far end, like, players had successful seasons. Patrick Queen, Roquan Smith, Kyle Hamilton, Justin Madubuike, all have successful seasons. Patrick Ricard, successful seasons. But did the Ravens have a successful season? I don't think so. Ravens have been there before. Lamar Jackson may not have, but the Ravens have been there before. They've been the 1 seed before. They've lost in the playoffs before. They've won a playoff game before. Now, it looked different because, like Joy said, this year they had a bye. So when they won the playoff game, it took them to a championship game, whereas before they didn't have a bye. So when they won a playoff game, they only got to the divisional round, but they've won one playoff game before. Nothing they did this year surprised me, 2-5. That's why I can't look at it, and I'm interested in your perspective because you've won 2 Super Bowls, so you've achieved success at the highest level. I can't say that the Ravens had success. Did Lamar have success? Kind of. I don't even know how much Lamar. I don't even know what Lamar would say, though.
MVP, though.
I agree, but I've talked to, again, MVP is different, but I've talked to different MVP winners who haven't won a Super Bowl and didn't win the Super Bowl that year. I've talked to Heisman Trophy winners who didn't win the Natty. I said, what would you rather? Would you rather the Heisman or the Natty?
Of course.
And they always say, forget that. Give me the Natty. Give me the Natty. If we were to ask Lamar, would you rather the MVP or just play in the Super Bowl? Not even win it. Just play in the Super Bowl. I think he would say, let me just play in the Super Bowl. So I don't even know if Lamar would say
this is what, his 6th year?
6.
Come on, dog. You're a quarterback. You're going to play for a long time. Your 6th year, you're going to AFC Championship game? You talked about the bucket list. I did like that because as a player, I always would, put my accomplishments, what I wanted to do, right? And each year I would check it off. So, yeah, 2 MVPs, I get that. You're going to play the Super Bowl, but you're going to take that. And I think that next year, I can see the Ravens back at the same spot. Okay, we lost this. Let's learn from that. All these penalties we got that mess us up, we're going to fix that this time around. We've seen teams that get close, they don't make it, then they come in next year and they win it. We've seen it. So, it got to be a success for me because, for one, you got a young team, too, man. Your best receiver is a rookie. Right? He made some great plays that game, and he made some bad plays to lose the game for him. Imagine you get him next year and what he's going to look like, right? Look at Coach Harbaugh. What's the message that you want to speak to these players? Kyle Hamilton last year he was cool.
He was up and down. He was up and down.
This dude's a beast now. Yeah. So you grow on these things, right? And I think that they played the Chiefs again. It may be a different story, but we can't look at it because they didn't win, right? It's just a mission. See, sports to me, it's a journey,
okay?
Right? You do all this hard work to get there. Now you get there. Do you let down? No, you keep going. So now they lose an AFC Championship game. You're going to see Lamar Jackson. He's going to be there again. I think next time he gets there, he'll have a different vision. He'll have a different attitude. I just can't look at this as a bad season.
Yeah, see, that's the thing for me because we want to look at Lamar Jackson being young in year 6 and say, man, he'll be back here. It's hard to get back there. It was set up so perfect for them this year.
Was it?
Extremely healthy. You got your best tight end back off of an injury to get in the lineup in Mark Andrews. Patty Mahomes missing his all-pro center. William Gay didn't play. The middle linebacker, it was all set up for them. You're at home, you healthy, MVP quarterback, #1 deep. It was all set up for them. And to just say that they're going to get back to this point and be this good of a football team next year, it's going to be tough. This guy's up for free agent. You might lose Patrick Queen. He was an all-pro. Somebody might throw the bank at him. Yeah. So the team is going to look different. You might battle some more injuries next year. You never know what can happen. But it's a failure because in Baltimore, with the team that they have built and put around Lamar, it was Super Bowl or bust for them. They did not get to the Super Bowl. When we won the Super Bowl, the next year we came back, we were 15-1, and we lost in the playoffs. That's a failure. I don't care what anybody did. Aaron Rodgers, I don't care about none of that. As a team success, that is a failure. 15-1, and you done? In the playoff, that is a failure as a football team, and it's only a certain amount each year. We're going to come into this thing next year, and people's Super Bowl picks might be different, but it's going to be about 5 or 6 same teams up in that thing.
You only get 4 teams, though. You only get 4 teams go to AFC. Out of 32 teams, only 4 make it to the AFC Championship game or NFC Championship game. So my thing is that alone, that's hard as hell to do. And they did that. And if you're telling me that you don't think Lamar Jackson, the way that the Ravens build their teams, right? Because I always think about quarterbacks that don't make it, like a Dan Marino. He's a big guy, my guy, super talented. But I look at that as that franchise, right? And I look at the Ravens, right, differently because since I've been playing, all they do is stack their teams up on defense. They play good ball, and they get better and better and better. So I do feel like the Ravens will have another chance. I don't know.
They'll probably have another chance, and we don't know what would happen with any other team. Do we think that Joe Burrow wasn't going to be in the postseason this year? No, we sure didn't. Things happen.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but injuries happen to other teams also. Like we imagine that it will never be this easy, which I don't think it was easy. You imagine that everything is just lined up. It was lined up because they on purpose had the best team, best defense.
Yeah.
Like that was designed. It wasn't like, oh, he accidentally fell into the best defense. They're a team that always has a good defense. Maybe they'll get back, maybe they won't. But to achieve something like getting to an AFC Championship game when you have not done that before, and then to look at the entire season as a failure to me is strange. You already accomplished something that you never did before.
When you say
wait, what about the Niners, though? That's your team, right?
Yeah, I would say it's a
what
failure.
About them?
It's a failure if they don't win the Super Bowl.
No, I'm saying, like, we watch them get close and get close and get close.
Yeah.
All right?
They lose.
But no.
I'll tell you right now.
But I'm saying when they lost to the Chiefs, right, in 09 and 19, okay? Y'all like, oh man, they probably never get back again.
That's interesting. No, it's different. I wouldn't have said that. I would have said it was a failure.
Yeah.
You feel me? I would have said it was a failure.
Okay, but then they went to the NFC Championship again and lost to the Rams.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then again, they go to the NFC Championship last year and lose.
Yeah.
Okay. With the Eagles. Then they go again this year and then they win in the Super Bowl. So when y'all hollering at me and talking to me and all that, and I'm not against y'all, but like, we seen it happen before. So why is it for the Niners can get back there numerous of times?
I'm not saying that he can't.
But you act like, like it's the end of the road for Lamar Jackson and the Ravens.
No, I think two different conversations. The conversation I'm having now is this season, today, 2023 season was a failure. Can Lamar get back? Maybe. I am not going to guarantee it. I don't believe in guaranteeing those things. But I'm saying the 2023 season was a failure in large part because Joy said it. It wasn't coincidence they had a 1 seed. So you do all that work to get a 1 seed. And then, James, I co-signed to the highest degree your point of health. Because you had a full bill of health. I said this last year about the Eagles. Eagles were so healthy, y'all should have won the Super Bowl last year. Because what happened this year with the Eagles?
Injuries.
Now A.J. Brown missed a playoff game. Now Darius Slay be hurt. So that health matters so much. I'd be very interested to know the Ravens day 1 starters versus the Ravens playoff starters. I don't know how many guys they were missing. Because even Marlon, like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe Marlon Humphrey, he got hurt. But like,
running backs.
running backs. But everybody. So to me, it's a failure because you were the 1 seed. You're the 1 seed. So if you're the 1 seed, then I want you to end the season as the 1 seed in your side of the conference, like the Niners. The Niners were the 1 seed. And so the Niners ended the season as the 1 seed in their side of the conference. The 1 seed doesn't mean you're the best team in the league, but it means you are the best team in your conference. So you do all of that work, that's strenuous, intentional, and even their health. I would credit them for their health, prehab. You do all of that work. I just think if you don't finish it, to me, I'm a pass-fail.
Job done? Job finished? Job done?
I still can feel the feeling walking off that field when we was 15-1 in Green Bay losing, looking at Greg Jennings like, we got to do IPWs again, bro.
You got to do what again?
IPWs, off-season workworkouts. Oh. We got to do all that. This was a failure, bro. We was 15-1 at the crib. Number 1 seed at the crib, 15-1. Best team all year in football. We walking off the field. It is a failure, man. However you want to slice and dice, I don't care who MVP.
That wasn't an NFC Championship game, was it?
No, it was divisional round.
See, that's what I'm saying. You would feel the same way if you was in the NFC Championship game?
You're the best team all year in football with a chance to win the Super Bowl.
I guess.
Or at least get there, right? And we walking off the field same way the Ravens. Look at us. Jordy under contract for years. I'm under contract for years. Greg, we young. We going to be back here.
I guess I just feel like if it's a zero-sum game, then it really doesn't lend to a lot of nuanced conversation about anyone's success at all. Brock Purdy, if he loses in the Super Bowl, was a failure.
Brock wasn't. The team.
Yeah. Okay, so then Lamar Jackson did not have a failure of a season.
No, individually.
All of the players didn't have a failure of a season because this group of players had not been to an AFC Championship game, right? So it's a failure just because Kyle Shanahan has been to a Super Bowl and has been to an NFC Championship game, and 9 of the starters or 12 of the starters have been to a Super Bowl before. So it's a failure for only the players that have been to a Super Bowl and for Kyle Shanahan.
For the organization.
Yes.
Not for the individuals. Some individuals succeeded. Some obviously didn't. You know, some players in their contract year, they probably didn't ball like they wanted to. But it is, I think you're right, Joy, and it's not the fun part of sports, but the truth is,
organizationally, of course, any team that has been to or won a Super Bowl or has been around, sniffing around that space, it would be a failure for them. But the Baltimore Ravens didn't go to a Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson. He won the quarterback when they went to the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy wasn't the quarterback the last time the Niners went to a Super Bowl. So really the only team that we can look at left in this situation that we can truly call zero-sum game failure would be if the Chiefs don't win the Super Bowl. If we're playing that particular game with these particular players. Like, Lamar Jackson's version of the Ravens had never been in this position before.
Right. Yeah, but not only that, like, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield, successful season, right? Quarterback been on 4 different teams, nobody picking him to win the Super Bowl. Individual players played well, went to the playoffs, won a playoff, successful season. This team was built this year.
Yeah. And they paid.
They
paid to win this year.
Like the best team.
Here's what I would even argue with you, James. You won a Super Bowl the year before you went 15-1, right?
Yes.
That's why it was a failure, because you guys had won a Super Bowl.
They've been there.
If you had never been there, if you had never accomplished that, and I hear you.
Even James can say why it's a failure.
Zero-sum game, yes. Everyone failed who did not win a Super Bowl this year, right? Everyone failed.
The teams.
Where's the nuance? Where's the conversation? What do we get paid to talk about?
I wouldn't say, though, I'm with James, though, in that, like, to me, you failed if you underachieved. I can't sit here and say to myself that the Tampa Bay Bucks failed, because I don't believe they underachieved. I can't say to myself even that the Oakland Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders failed, because I don't believe they underachieved. But the teams that underachieved, the Philadelphia Eagles, I believe it was a failure of a season. They underachieved. I can't say the Rams failed this season because they didn't underachieve. But when I'm looking at the Ravens, you paid Odell $15 million for this year. 20? Yeah, like I think it was up to 20. 16. Yeah, it was something like that for this year. Patrick Queen for this year. You did all that for this year. You didn't pay Odell a 5-year deal. Yeah. You paid him a 1-year deal.
And they didn't reach their ultimate goal. They didn't reach the ultimate goal, but they made it to the AFC Championship game, and they were the second best team in the conference.
Yeah. What's that mean, though?
I mean, it means that in reality, yes, it means that failure. So we don't have nothing else to say. They're failures, and the Chiefs are winners until if they lose to the Niners, then they're failures. And any team that has any expectations of the Super Bowl, it's a zero-sum game. You either win the Super Bowl or get to the Super Bowl,
or the season's
But
it's only a handful of teams that can say that, though.
4 of them. It's like 4 teams out of the 32.
I'm talking about like before the season starts.
Listen, every year Lamar Jackson's a winner. I think the only the only player that has more wins than him is Mahomes, right? So he's going to be in the playoffs again.
No question.
And then you used to kill Lamar about his playoff resume. So for him to even get to the AFC Championship, he's like, yo, he made it here, right? So he can build on that. I just can't say it's the end of the world because they didn't win.
You talking about Lamar, though. I agree with you everything on Lamar.
Even the Ravens, they ain't been just smoking teams in the playoffs, right or wrong.
Nope.
But this year they didn't either. Like, Lamar Jackson came into this playoffs with a 1-3 playoff record. He's leaving this year in the playoffs with a 2-4 playoff record. Now let's go micro, because that's macro. This year, Lamar Jackson came into the playoffs with 4 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He had a 4-touchdown, no-pick game against the Texans. Then against the Chiefs, I believe he had 2 turnovers.
He also had the bye because he balled out during the regular season and got the 1 seed.
Correct.
We talk about this with Aaron Rodgers.
And we kill Aaron Rodgers for it.
How many 1 seeds did they have?
Correct, but we knock Aaron Rodgers. But we knock Aaron Rodgers as well for the aspect of, like, bro, you got the 1 seed, but what'd you do in the playoffs? Aaron Rodgers' playoff record, I believe, is 11-11.
It's regular.
We say, like, he a regular season quarterback.
Off that field, we failed.
11-10, excuse me.
Lamar Jackson, like, I hear you, but, like, this year they had a bye, so that's a dub.
Yes.
Like, that's a dub. That's like
not on his record.
But we're here having a new, right, I get it. Doesn't count there. There's no, like, extra mark for that. But we're having a conversation about what happened this year, so we can say they didn't play in the first round of the playoffs because they were that good. So how does that not also add to what we can expect from Lamar Jackson in the future and what he did this year, if we're talking about success or failure?
I said that. The Niners, they just did this. I just watched the Niners from 2019 to now, right? Make it to the Super Bowl, lose. Yep. Successful season or failure, I don't know. They went back to the NFC Championship again, and they win again. Now they're going to the Super Bowl again. What I'm saying is it can't be a failure because that's part of the journey. The part of the journey is for you to lose. Michael Jordan wearing 6 in a row, correct?
Yeah.
Between that, he was losing some of them playoff games, right? No question. Part of the journey. Then you get to it, right? Now I'm arrived. So it's the same thing with Lamar.
But eventually, I'll say this, Shady.
Growing pains,
well, you're right. But ultimately, where I stand is Lamar eventually has to arrive. I think you're banking on him arriving. The beauty of the journey is eventually you get to your destination. I ain't trying to stay on the 405 all day. Right. Eventually, I want to get to work. So hopefully, and we're all trusting that Lamar Jackson will arrive, because that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
If Kyle Shanahan don't win a Super Bowl, his journey cool and all, but like, I love the Niners, but you got to win.
Kyle Shanahan's been there before. So if you're asking about Kyle Shanahan specifically, if he loses the Super Bowl, yeah, it should be a failure for Kyle Shanahan, because he's been there before multiple times. It won't be a failure for Brock Purdy. He's never been to the Super Bowl.
Would it be a failure
before.
for the Niners? Because that's the conversation
I'm gonna say
we're
yeah,
having.
because they've been there.
And you know what?
They smelled it. They tasted it.
But
they done touched it.
Only 12 of them.
Come on.
So
For Brock Purdy, I would say no.
for the Niners, freak from a...
Okay, what if we just say whoever loses the Super Bowl was a failure? Because to me, Lamar Jackson has never been to an AFC Championship game. If you accomplish something this year that you've never accomplished before, including guaranteeing yourself a spot in the Hall of Fame, and the Ravens have what they have in place and have built what they've built, like, he answered questions.
Individually, I 100% agree with you.
But wait, the star players, though, been there.
Well, I
Trent
agree, yeah.
Williams was
The
there.
stars been there.
Bosa was there. Fred was there.
Yeah.
It's Trent first Super Bowl, ain't it?
No.
No, he was there in 19.
He was there?
He was there in 19.
So they know
That squad with them
They know
stars
the
was there.
respect.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.